Good day, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a rather special outdoor adventure today. Beautiful day today, 17 degrees or something, the last beautiful day actually of a couple. Tomorrow it's gonna be a lot colder, a lot more inconvenient, a lot moister, and we're gonna attack a rather special crag, I would say, the Hintere Arena, which is where so many good lines and so many hard lines are located. Some classics of the area, some classics of Styria really. Although I'm living in this area for like, I don't know, 2 years already or something, I haven't even laid my hands on one single route down there. That's what we're gonna attack today with a rather special guest, I would say. A climbing partner from Graz of mine who she just sent her first 8A. Yeah, so maybe we can tickle a little interview out of her, what she did to achieve this outstanding fitness. And yeah, she climbed this 8A last time really solidly. I was pretty impressed. So that's gonna be cool. I would say let's pick her up and then we're gonna attack the crag. Schaut's aus, Agnes? Wie fühlst du dich heute?
Ja, sehr gut.
Sehr gut.
Ich bin gerade am Essen, dann geht's mir immer gut.
Motiviert für die Hintere Arena. Oder gehen wir obere und du checkst Zeitgeist aus?
Lieber Hintere.
Ah, lieber Hintere, okay. Ja, viel besser. Okay, dort habe ich auch noch mehr Stuff.
Wir können aber auch hin und her gehen.
Nein, das ist zu oberschenkelfördernd, sage ich jetzt mal.
Ja, außerdem warst du noch nie in der Hintere.
Genau. Dann machen wir das. Cool, passt. Very impressive overhang. Still quite warm today. 18 degrees, almost 19. 50% humidity. We expect this to become a lot cooler today in the afternoon, and also the moisture should go up. We gotta hurry up here a little bit. So, welcome to the Hintere Arena. What an interesting crag. As you can see, I think this is pretty much limestone here. This classic white greyish limestone that we often find in the East Austrians. And this particular crag actually reminds me of a sector in the Adlitzgräben, where I used to climb a lot to the south of Vienna. Very popular crag actually. There is a sector called Zapfer on the Adlitzgräben, which also features this really white and greyish limestone. I think I even made a couple of videos there from some climbs that I did back then. And yeah, the only difference I would say to the Hintere Arena here is that in the Hintere Arena it's actually getting from time to time really wet. The Hintere Arena gets a lot of water. It's very overhanging. If there is a lot of rain, the Hintere Arena is very likely to be wet. There is also this river running down there in the valley, really close. So we always have this a bit moist air there. And also if the conditions get very moist, it's very hard to climb. Tough stuff there, I would say. And what this leads to is something very special, that is that we get tufas actually on this limestone. And there's a couple of really nice tufa lines in the Hintere Arena, which is super rare on this kind of limestone actually. The particular line that we're trying here right now is called Down Under. Very special, very nice actually. I think following this overhanging dihedral here, as you can see, we just surpassed the first boulder crux and then rested for around 40 seconds here. I sped up this rest here a little bit in a quite nice knee bar position, and now it's getting into the sequence where something is featured that I've talked about before, namely these tufas. I've got one in my right hand there, trying to find my feet for the next move. As we know with tufas, with side pulls like this, it's always very prone for drop knees. And as you can see, I am finding my way here through these drop knees as well. And here I'm getting a pretty good sloper, where I think I stood for another 20 seconds or something before I finished off the route. The route is not too long, I would say maybe 15 meters or something. and you could prolongate it quite a bit into a couple of other lines, which makes the route quite significantly harder. I think one prolongation would be 8A or something. Here another tufa with the right hand. I mean, just beautiful climbing there. Switching the feet on the other side, drop kneeing again, and another side pull here for the left hand. Switching the feet again on the other side, drop kneeing again, another side pull for the right hand. This is not very often seen on this kind of limestone, that we have side pulls like these. Now I'm finally getting the top jog with my left hand. Yeah, more or less being ready to clip the anchor. As you can see, I'm now a lot taller, a lot bigger in the frame than I was when I started. I kept the zoom in factor the same, so that means we had a lot of overhang during this climb here. I just simply came closer to the camera a lot. Amazing climb. Yeah, can't wait to do more. Pretty successful day so far. We had a 70 plus warm-up on site and the 7C flash. Really cool route, this 7C. I got it on camera, so hopefully I can show it to you. And I just wanted to show you predictions that we made came true. It's now about 15 degrees, actually below that even, 14 degrees Celsius and 60% humidity, and it's already starting to rain. You can see it on the lens here already. The lens is getting here a little bit wet, so I will move the camera a little bit more under the overhang. So the last program point of today is gonna be checking out, I think, an 8B, which is called Gringo. Pretty cool route, pretty short, quite bouldery. It's funny how I always gravitate towards short, bouldery routes, even on a crag like this, the Hintere Arena, where we actually have a quite fine selection of long endurance climbs, which yet again is something that is rather rare on this kind of limestone. These kind of rocks, they usually feature more bouldery routes, because there's always these sections where it's almost blank and you only have this one or these two greasy bad edges there to climb on, and this is then usually forming a boulder crux. But yeah, this crag, because it has quite a couple of tufas and some better holes to hold on, it creates these kind of better, more flowy, longer endurance climbs. Really classics like Farustei, for example, a super classic 8B, which this crag features. But no, I always gravitate towards the bouldery stuff, which yet again shows this video here. I think in total the route contains about 3 boulder cruxes. This hold that I'm getting here with the left hand is actually a better hold, and so to say symbolizes the end of the first crux, which is already the entrance. Yeah, the entrance is not so, the start is not so easy. You have to pull quite hard here on a couple of small edges. Then you have to perform this clip here from this rather good hold in my left hand, big move to the right. This was unfortunately a wet hold this day, but I think it's actually always wet, because if it's wet now, it's probably always wet. The Hintere Arena is at the moment particularly dry. Now it has gotten some rain again, at least that day when we were there, so I don't know if it's still dry at the moment where I'm speaking the voiceover to this video, but anyway, this is the second boulder. Very interesting crossover from a rather interesting hold, quite an undercling tufa, so to speak, and then this rather good hold there where you can shake with both hands for a bit. You have 2 boulder cruxes in at this point, and now it's adding actually another boulder crux, which is also quite interesting. You get this pinch with the right hand, pretty big drop knee there to reach for a slopey edge with left, and then high heel hook with right, and crossing over into this next hold. I wasn't really able to do it this session, so there's definitely something to come back for, and all in all, this route, it contains quite a couple of interesting details from a technique perspective, so I would love to climb it and analyze it for the Patreon tribe later on. Definitely something to come back for. The rain is here. Time to go. You can see we are here at 10 degrees Celsius, 70% humidity. So that's pretty much where we're at right now. Time to head home and have a nice meal. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the post-workout cuisine. Today on the menu, spaghetti bolognese. My friend and it's gonna be good spaghetti bolognese, I'm gonna tell you. Let me show you what I already prepared and the ingredients that we're gonna use. Yeah, first of all, we've got here some beautiful vegetable stock. This is very simple, just a bunch of vegetables in the pan, cover it with water, cook that through, and then take the whole thing, including the fluids, put it in the blender, blend it through and run it through a sieve to get rid of the fiber, and then you get the beautiful vegetable stock. You add some sea salt to that to taste, and also a little bit of chili actually I put in there to have a little bit of a heat there, yeah? Because today it's gonna be, it's a cold, wet evening, and we want to have something warm inside, right? Then we have already prepared as well the dough. Dough, this is simply a 3 eggs, 300 grams of flour. If you can, use the lower protein flour, yeah, because the lower protein flour is gonna make less strong gluten fibers in the dough, and it's gonna be a little bit easier to work with the dough later on when making the noodles. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take the bacon, put it into the pan, and then we're gonna turn the heat to high and let that melt. We can hear the bacon is already doing its thing. That means we can add the minced meat. And we're gonna keep it moving a little bit. During the searing process, it's gonna leach a bit of water. Yeah, this is also very important that you just leave the pan open so that the water can evaporate. You really just wanna sear this quickly and on high heat actually. You keep stirring it and you know, cutting it, because you actually want the particles in the sauce to be as fine as possible later on, so that they are quite nicely, you know, that they are nicely picked up by the noodles. Now we're adding the tomato puree. I don't know how much that is, maybe 2 tablespoons or something like that. Bring that to a sear as well. Let me see if I can bring the camera closer to you here a little bit. So as you can see, the fat from the bacon and the fat from the minced meat really fries now the tomato puree, and the smell is already pretty amazing. Although we didn't even use any spices so far, and now we already have quite a bit of stuff on the floor of the pan, which we can dissolve in our beautiful vegetable stock. Now I'm not gonna use everything today. Could you hear that? Maybe a little bit more, that's it. Because you can actually, when I'm making one portion of vegetable stock, I'm keeping half of it for another dish. Yeah, the vegetable stock is really practical for cooking. Now we can actually turn the heat to low, and at the same time we can add our bay leaf back in. This is already what I used for the vegetable stock. Goes back in. There goes the tomato sauce as well, yeah. And we're gonna open a new one. Put a bit more in, like this much or something. Don't forget, this is only for 2 people here. And now I'm actually gonna turn on the stove in the left back side, the small one, because I just want to have this on a simmer until our noodles are ready and until everything is ready for serving. Here we have a huge pot of sea salted water. That's where we're gonna cook the noodles in. It's still not cooking. I'm just heating that up right now. Ooh, the little one is actually moving the camera around from the floor. Okay, that was close. Yeah. Oh, so sorry. Now we're gonna take the dough. The dough is pretty beautiful there, as you can see, very yellow, very nice from the eggs. I'm gonna put that away because we're gonna need as much space as possible. I'm actually gonna cut it. Yeah? Cut it in half, like this, simply. The same thing that I used already last time is my beautiful dough wood that I made myself, okay? This is very practical for these things. So first, we're gonna press it flat a little bit. Again, the dough is pretty dry, so we should not have too much of a problem with sticking. So the way how you get a dry dough with eggs, which is the traditional recipe for Italian pasta as far as I know, yeah? So you take 3 eggs and 300 grams of flour. But if those eggs are big eggs, actually the fluid is almost gonna be too much, yeah? So you're gonna need a little bit more flour than 300 grams if the eggs are big, yeah, to get a really, really dry dough like this.
Godzilla is back. She's dancing down here.
Dancing with the camera.
Yeah.
So we're gonna roll it onto our dough wood and then we simply keep rolling. We keep rolling, 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 rolling. Just like that. And what we get then is a beautiful sheet of dough like that, yeah? And we're gonna turn it around. We're gonna do it on the dough wood again. That the little one wants to cook with me.
She's watching you on the display.
So now we are approaching the right thickness here, as you can see. Some proper flour one last time, because we're gonna need to prepare this sheet for cutting. Yeah? Cutting is always, you want to prevent your noodles from sticking together at the last step of the working flow. Okay. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take the dough, fold it up like this, just really nicely. Just a couple of really precise cuts. Alright, so let's make the final test here. As you can see, we grab them up like this. It's like, these are fine noodles. And here they are sticking together still because I was a little bit sloppy on the cutting. Now we're just simply adding that to the boiling water. I'm gonna bring the sauce in the bag to a boil one last time. Alright, as you can see, these are some beautiful noodles right there. Eh? They are now cooked to al dente, which means that we're gonna harvest them out. Ooh. That looks pretty nice.
Yeah.
You wanna go for a taste test, Mona, please?
Super sauce more.
Okay, so thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon in the next one. Bye.
You only had your nose on screen.
Okay.